Hi, this is Mr. Gibson. I'm your ancient history teacher. Stonehenge is behind me and my hand disappears sometimes. Okay, I'm here to tell you about the History Detectives assignment. So you will have seen this appear hopefully on the Brightspace. This is a very quick overview of what the assignment is. So I'm going to present the assignment in theory, and then you'll be able to see what it is, and we'll go over generally what you should do. So in theory, I'm presenting now, and what you can see is the assignment shown here. So you can see that it's worth, there's two parts. There's a first part, which is your preliminary step, an essay outline, which is worth 5% of your mark, and an essay worth 10%. We're doing this early because I think it's important that we develop your essay writing skills early on in the course, and we hone them throughout the course. You'll likely thank me in grade 12, or maybe you won't, who knows? Anyways, there's a preamble. It talks about why we're doing this. I encourage you to read it on your own in your best historical voice, whatever that may be. I'm gonna scroll down. Essentially what you're doing is you're doing a compare and contrast essay. And so you're comparing ancient Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt. And so you could have a theory, in theory, you could use this topic as your thesis, drawing from the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Narmer palette. This essay will explore, wow, that's just not written well. Anyways, we'll explore the nature of the two earliest civilizations of similar in Egypt. So that could be your topic. And your thesis could be based on an assessment of the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Narmer palette. Ancient Sumeria and ancient Egypt are similar, or are different, or are similar in some respects and different in other respects. Compare and contrast. You choose one side, or you can sit in the middle and sit on the fence in the middle. That is the most difficult of positions to argue, but you could do it. Anyways, you're going to be given excerpts from, you're going to give the Narmer palette. You're not getting these excerpts because I found they were confusing last year. Well, look at that. You get to see real life editing happening. Yes. Okay. So essentially what's going to happen, your first step, you're going to be given two products, and you're going to plug those, or you're going to read through those products, look at the other product, and basically assess them. Let me show you what they look like. Share this tab instead. Should share any second now. Okay, in theory, I'm sharing that tab. What this shows is the Narmer palette. You've got a brief glossary at the top. You've got the two sides of the palette. And it's showing Narmer, this guy right here is the pharaoh smashing somebody's head in, because that's what you do when you conquer parts of a country. And you'll have to take a look at the summary. You've got a summary here showing generally what's happening with the Narmer palette. I encourage you to do external research if you need to, but essentially what it does is it shows King Narmer, the uniter of Upper and Lower Egypt, who makes just Egypt. Egypt was divided into two sections early on, and around 3100 BCE, Narmer came along and conquered all of it. He was from southern Egypt, and he went and conquered northern Egypt. So he was from southern Egypt because the Nile flows from south to north. Southern Egypt is called Upper Egypt, and the northern part of Egypt is called Lower Egypt because they traced it based on the way the Nile flowed. Anyways, he came from Upper Egypt, he conquered Lower Egypt. This palette shows a record of that conquest. Here is Narmer bashing somebody's head in. You've got this picture of the Horus, the king god, picking out a guy's brain, and you've got dead bodies here. You've got people piled up here. So you have to do more of the analysis of this. So you'll take a look at this image and analyze it. The other topic, or the other thing that you're going to have to analyze, which is going to be, I think, a bit more straightforward, is the Epic of Gilgamesh. Now, you do not have to read the whole Epic of Gilgamesh. The first two chapters will suffice to give you good comparison. But here you have N.K. Sanders' edited edition of the whole Epic of Gilgamesh. This is an incredibly exciting document because it is the first documented story that we have on record. It was saved on cuneiform tablets. It was a transcribed version of an earlier writing of the document of, or the Epic of Gilgamesh. We think it dates back to about 3000 BCE. And it's incredible because the story speaks to us now. We can see modern archetypes, modern hero and villain archetypes that are common, even though this thing is 5,000 years old. It's really cool from that perspective. I recommend reading, so you should do the prologue, obviously, and I would read chapters 1 and 2 to get some good evidence. So that's what you're doing today. You're reading the Epic of Gilgamesh, you're looking at the Narmer palette. When you finish that, I'm casting now, I think, or projecting my screen now, the assignment screen. Let's do a quick check. Yeah, sure, that looks like an assignment screen. Otherwise, I'll have to do this all over again. Let's hope not. So what do? You read the sources I've given you, and now you have to think about how to make an outline. So generally, you've got a few steps, outline instructions, read and review the writing guide on the class website. I'll throw that on there. Look at the Chicago Manual Style for citations, something you'll want to take a look at. There you are, read excerpts on Gilgamesh and the Narmer palette. Likely you've done that as well. If you want, you can do additional research, your call. All research that you do that's additional, you have to cite it, and I will get to that in a second. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start coming up with a thesis. So your thesis can be, these two civilizations are similar. Sumeria and Egypt are similar because of 3 reasons. So you could say, like, they have similar forms of kingship. The king is a dictator. The king is pictured as a god, stuff like that. Or you can say they're different in how they even tell their stories. Heck, one's on a palette, which you use for making makeup, and one's, written with words. So there's a lot of similarities and differences between these stories and how they are projected to us. That is your call to form an argument saying they're similar, they're different, or they're similar and different, which is hard. Look at this. It's an essay outline. So you put your name there. Brad, that's me. Okay, anyways, I just saved that. That's great. And then you put your thesis down there. And an essay at this level should have 1 introduction paragraph, 3 body paragraphs with evidence, and then a concluding paragraph. That's 5 paragraphs. And it's structured here. Here's your thesis. Your first paragraph would be your supporting argument 1. And typically what you want to do is put supporting argument there. So in both stories, the rulers are pictured as godlike. And then you would want examples of that. So for instance, examples are plentiful in the Epic of Gilgamesh, where his half godlike nature is emphasized in words. So you put a quote there. For the Narmer palette, you might have to do a little bit of digging to find if Narmer is portrayed as a god, but certainly the guy is the biggest thing on there. He's bigger than the gods that are put on there. For example, the bird, that's Horus, the god, king god, or the god of kings, and he's on there. So there's a reference you could put there. Maybe additional research could be used, but your proof would be describing the palette. Your pages would be whatever pages you use for the Epic of Gilgamesh in the N.K. Sanders edition, and description of the source. I guess you could use a Narmer palette doc. And then you would explain, so that's your citation, and then you explain how your proof, the evidence, your quote or your description, helps make your argument, helps your point. And you do this process 3 times. So you have 3 sub-arguments and 3 proofs and 3 explanations with citations. If you do additional research, that'll pop up in your citations as well. Final step to this is you fill out the bibliographic details, and I'm going to make a whole other video on how to do Chicago style citations, so you can refer to that. But essentially, you're going to put down the bibliographic details here. Don't skip this step because you lose marks for it, please. That's the most common when I've done this assignment in the past, and I've done it 3 years in the past. So three times, I guess. There we are. Anyways, this is the most common error people make, is they forget to put the bibliographic details down and it loses the marks. Here is your rubric. You can see that bibliography will get you marks under application. So if you don't do it, you're losing 5 marks off the bat on something that's worth 20 marks. So do it. You can refer to that. Okay, the second part is basically where you write your essay. Now your essay is going to use, so you're going to use the data that you've put into your outline here, and you're essentially going to cut and paste that into a doc and then start filling in the blanks. So filling in connecting sentences between your supporting arguments, filling in perhaps a broader topic sentence, and I'll get into that in class on how to do that. But essentially, you're going to take the essay outline here, and you're basically going to cut and paste the details that you have here into a document and write the connecting sentences and possibly provide more detailed evidence. Essentially, that's what that'll get you through the essay. Now, you want to follow obviously the steps here. So you want to start off early on. Follow the statements of topic, example, explanation format, and you want to basically do a quick grammar check. Actually, do a very thorough grammar check. But essentially, that's what you want to do for getting this whole thing done. Hi, kiddo. You should no. I'm busy. I'm recording something. You go that way for a minute. That's my daughter. Anyways, what else do you need to know? That should be about it. Essentially, if you want my feedback on the outline, please get it done promptly, because if you get it done promptly, I can go that way. There you are. I can give you feedback if you finish this outline promptly. Same thing goes with the essay. If you get the essay in well before the due date, I will tell you how to make it better so you can get a better mark. That it stands for all assignments. And look, this is recorded, so now I have to honor it. Oh, great. Okay, good luck. Hopefully that helps explain the first part. Get the outline done first. Due dates will be posted on the class website. Thank you.